Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike back again. Slowly but surely catching up on the monthly updates. So here's the list. We only have 10 here. We're doing April's Blu-ray pickups. After that, I'll still have to do May's. In May I have 8 DVDs and 7 Blu-rays. And I'm keeping a list for June as well. So far in June I have 13 total. But alright, so let's get April's Blu-rays over with. There's 10 titles like I said, but I think they're good titles. So we'll start out with Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. This was a movie I really enjoyed here. I got this for $5 from Amazon. Really nice. 2 discs here, the Blu-ray and the digital copy. Just, of course, the UV code, of course. There's the back cover. This was a really cool movie. I was a wrestling fan as a kid in the 80s. And this has, disc 2 is the digital copy. Disc 1 has, let's see, it's got the music video by Bruce Springsteen, which was a big hit for this movie. There's a featurette called Within the Ring, which is a no-holds-barred one-on-one with the wrestlers and filmmakers. And what I found interesting is there's a wrestler roundtable. You have guys like Roddy Piper and Brutus Beefcake sitting around talking about their real experiences as wrestlers and how it relates to this movie. And they talk about wrestling, you know, back in the day. And Jake Roberts as well, Jake the Snake Roberts. And they talk about how this was pretty much an accurate portrayal of the personal lives of these wrestlers. And I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't think I would when it first came out. I never went to the movies to see it, but I rented it when it came out originally on DVD, and you know, Blockbuster was still around, I guess, and I rented it and really enjoyed it. The personal story of Mickey Rourke, his character, and how he goes from the top to, you know, a Hulk Hogan type superstar character, and then he finds himself working in a supermarket and, you know, just trying to hang on to some semblance of fame by wrestling at these high schools, and finds himself in this crazy wrestling league where they're wrestling with thumbtacks on the floor, and you know, and then that final scene where he jumps off the top rope and the doctor tells him, you know, one more shot like that, your heart's gonna give out and you're gonna die, and then it fades to black. A lot of people don't like that. It's kind of a Sopranos type ending, but I enjoyed this movie a lot. So, and then we have I have a steelbook here, Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. It has one of these backs. I hate these backs that are just loose because you never know quite what to do with them. But it's a nice steelbook. There's the real back. I'm a Eastwood fan. I'm not a huge fan of the westerns, although I do have the Sergio Leone collection, but I'm more of a Dirty Harry fan. I'm more of a fan where he's a cop in the Line of Fire, those kind of movies. But this is a cool movie from his, you know, later in his career. It's got special features are manning the wheel, the meaning of manhood as reflected in American car culture. Of course, he plays an older character who lives in a neighborhood. He's kind of an Archie Bunker type, where he's a nice guy, but he has some overt racial issues. He's not quite a racist because we find out that he is a real good guy, but at first, you know, he's not too happy with the Asians moving into his neighborhood, that kind of thing. He has Asians next door, and then there's blacks around, and Latinos, and talks about how it used to be just a nice old Irish neighborhood, and his wife dies, and his kids want him to sell the house, and his prized possession is this old Gran Torino that he keeps in perfect mint condition. And so the special feature talks about the car culture. Um, a featurette here called Gran Torino, More Than a Car. Visit Detroit and the Woodward Dream Cruise, an annual vintage car event where car buffs describe the unique bond between men and their vehicles. I'm not much of a car guy myself. I drive a 2011 Nissan Sentra, so I don't really give a crap about cars as long as they can get me from here to there. I don't care too much about cars as long as it runs and it looks half decent. But so I don't relate too much to the car culture thing. But I do enjoy this movie because it's a cool character study of a guy who feels like he's old and the world has left him behind, but he finds he still has things to teach people. Alright, enough of that sentimental crap. $15 I got this, the Magnificent Seven collection. This is a really cool little box set. It has all 4 Magnificent Seven movies in this nice little box here. Back cover is the same on the box as it is on the case, more or less. And all 4 movies are on their own discs. We have the Magnificent Seven, the Return of the Magnificent Seven, the Guns of the Magnificent Seven, and the Magnificent Seven Ride. This is, well, the original movie at least, the Magnificent Seven, is absolutely great. It's a takeoff of the Seven Samurai, Akira Kurosawa's film. Basically translated into a Western. And then it's 3 sequels. There's so many. The original movie, of course, stars Yul Brynner, but there's so many guys. Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, James Coburn, Eli Wallach. In the sequel, we see guys like Warren Oates, Claude Akins, Robert Fuller. Wow. You know, just really. Lee Van Cleef, of course. How could I forget him? No special features on the sequels, but the original has Guns for Hire, the making of. Elmer Bernstein in The Magnificent Seven, the composer. The Linen Book, Lost Images from The Magnificent Seven, which is pretty cool. Theatrical trailer, still gallery. There's an audio commentary featuring some of the stars, James Coburn and Eli Wallach. Walter Mirisch, who's a famous producer. And Robert Rillier, who was the assistant director at The Magnificent Seven. The first 2 films are not rated. The third is rated G. The fourth is rated PG. 1960, 1966, 1969, and 1972. 7 Guns, 4 Hours. Hours of Excitement. I'm sorry, 7 Guns, 4 Movies. Hours of Excitement. And really cool, you know. It's the Old West. There's these marauding Mexican bandits trying to take over this little Mexican village, and of course they hire these gunslingers to help protect them, much like the Seven Samurai. And then the 3 sequels continue the story of Yul Brynner's character. Well, at least the second one does. And then we see George Kennedy in the third one, and Lee Van Cleef takes over the character of Chris Adams in the 4th one. So it's good stuff, subtitled throughout, all widescreen, 235:1, the first 3, and then 185:1. Subtitles, 5.1 DTS Master Audio, and I got this for $15, really nice. I really enjoyed this film. I know a lot of people probably didn't, but I got the nice Argo Extended Edition, declassified box set. I got a good price on this. Again, another one of these annoying backs that aren't quite connected. There's the back. And here's what you get inside. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Piece of styrofoam, really cool. But here's the disc itself, the Argo Extended Edition. It's 2 discs. The movie, of course, is the Extended Edition, so it runs 129 minutes. The theatrical version is also included. That's 120 minutes. Tons of special features. There's Argo Declassified, where you learn the story behind the CIA's decision to publicly honor Tony Mendez, the character Ben Affleck plays. Ben Affleck's balancing act. See how the filmmaking team managed to combine drama, comedy, and suspense. And then there's Argo, fuck yourself, which is a line from the movie. Not trying to curse much here, but, you know, this is what it is. And it's an all-star mashup of Argo's classic line. It's a little featurette where a bunch of different people say that classic line from the movie. I don't know how classic it is, but it is kind of funny in the context of the movie. Special to this edition are a discussion with the cast of the movie, the real guy, Tony Mendez, an interview with him, the Istanbul Journey, picture-in-picture eyewitness account. There is a commentary here by Ben Affleck, who also directed the film, and writer Chris Terrio. A featurette, Rescued from Tehran, We Were There. Argo, Absolute Authenticity, a featurette going into the authenticity of the movie and how it accurately portrayed events. Another featurette, Argo, the CIA and Hollywood connection, talks about the fake movie that they said they were making so they could get into Iran and get these hostages out of there, the CIA. And then Escape from Iran, the Hollywood option, another featurette. So there's tons of special features. Tons and tons of special features on these discs. Here's the movie, the theatrical version and the extended version, with plenty of special features on this. And then the bonus disc has special features exclusive to this edition. We also get this nice hardcover book here, with some reading material and a lot of cool pictures. There we see Bryan Cranston. It actually goes through character by character, along with some cool photos. We see the movie, the production, the photography, and then it goes through, you know, character by character, who they played, the profile of each. Ben Affleck, Bryan Cranston, Alan Arkin, who played the movie producer, John Goodman, and then some of the hostages, Scott McNary, and so on and so forth. And then we have this confidential CIA document. Actually, Velcro there. And then we open that up, and there's some cool stuff in here. Here's where you find the UV code. And there's this poster here, map of Tehran, all the places that were used in the movie. You can see that. And then another fold out here, which is the fake movie that they were saying they were going to make, Argo, a cosmic conflagration. I'll try to back up so you can see that. It looks like one of those Roger Corman movies, like Battle Beyond the Stars or something. Really cool poster. You know, this movie, of course, never got made, but they had to come up with fake materials to convince the Iranian officials that they were actually making a movie. And and also a reproduction of Ben Affleck's CIA pass as Tony Mendez, his CIA ID, which is pretty cool. So you get all this stuff in the box, and again, this is another pickup I got from Amazon. I think I only paid about $22 for it. So again, you know, a real sweet price, and I really do like this movie. I didn't just get it for the toys that come with it. I really like the movie, but you know, you can get this at Target for like $10, the regular version. But I figured spend an extra $10, $13 and get all the cool stuff that comes with it. So add this to the box set collection. Alright, and then we have about 6 more, but I'll go through them much more quickly. And the rest are all from Shout and Scream Factory. Scream Factory, really. We have Q the Winged Serpent from Larry Cohen. This has a commentary from Larry Cohen. Yeah, who also wrote and produced. This is actually Shout Factory, because Scream Factory didn't exist when this came out, I think, but it is a horror movie. Then The Incredible Melting Man, another Shout Factory that would have been a Scream Factory, but it came out before they started making Scream Factories, I guess. I mean, it's definitely a horror movie, with an audio commentary by writer-director William Sachs, and an interview with Rick Baker, who did the special makeup effects. So, really fun, cheesy. And by the way, I got each of these for $9. So, real good prices on these two. Then Tobe Hooper, Invaders from Mars. Really fun movie from the 80s. This one, when you buy it, you'll get that cover. But Scream Factory reversible cover, so I flipped it. There's the back cover. You get a audio commentary with Tobe Hooper, the making of, called The Martians Are Coming, theatrical trailer, TV spot, storyboards, and original production illustration gallery from artist William Stout. Really fun movie. Alien invasion. Kind of takes you back to the movies of the 50s and early 60s, the alien invasion movies. Then this really cool movie with Vincent Price, who, it's From a Whisper to a Scream, also known as The Offspring, also known, as The Offspring in other countries. There's the other side of the cover. This has plenty of special features. This was much later in his career, 1987, 99 minutes. There's an audio commentary with director Jeff Burr, another audio commentary with producer Darren Scott and co-screenwriter C. Courtney Joyner. A Decade Under the Innocents. That's a feature-length documentary about the making of. It's a good hour and a half almost, I think. Hour and 20 minutes, something like that. So a full-length documentary we get here. A comprehensive feature documentary called A Return to Oldfield. So we have basically 2 feature-length documentaries that we get on here, as well as the hour and 40-minute film. Still gallery, foreign theatrical trailer, and TV spots. And this is a real fun movie. It's, one of those anthology-type movies where we have 3 or 4 different stories that are wrapped around, the wraparound segments star Vincent Price. And it's about this town in Tennessee called Oldfield. I believe it's Tennessee. Yeah, Oldfield, Tennessee. I think it might also be known as Welcome to Oldfield, but it's The Offspring, Welcome to Oldfield, From a Whisper to a Scream. So many titles. But here's the Vincent Price there on the back cover. 2 feature-length documentaries, anthology film, 2 audio commentaries. Really a great Scream Factory release. 2 more, both double features. Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. These are just fun, really fun movies. There's the back cover. Reversible. Has some photos from the 2 movies. There was Gremlins was the A movie, and then we had Ghoulies and Critters. But Ghoulies was fun. Part 1 has an audio commentary with the director-co-writer Luca Bercovici. There's new interviews with the executive producer Charles Band. So, he of Full Moon fame, puppet master. Composer Richard Band. And actor Michael Desbars, and special effects makeup artist John Vulich, famous makeup guy. And theatrical trailer. So, good number of special features. And then Ghoulies 2, no commentary, but there are new interviews with Charles Band, again, who executive produced, actress Kerry Remsen, and special effects artist Gino Cronale, deleted scenes and theatrical trailer. And of course, what's just really fun about these movies is, they're kind of half comedies. I mean, you see these creatures crawling out of the toilet, it's going to be funny. There's not enough good horror comedies being made. If anybody knows of any new ones, let me know. I love horror comedies, and I loved these growing up on VHS, and I'm glad to have them on Blu-ray. Hope they put out 3 and 4, although they, again, weren't classics, but they were fun. Charles Band, who did The Puppet Master and is in charge of Full Moon Pictures. They're just fun movies. In part 2 is where they're in a carnival. Just fun stuff. And then last but not least, from the early 70s, horror meets blaxploitation in Blacula and Scream, Blacula Scream, starring Pam Grier in Scream, Blacula Scream. But there is an audio commentary by David F. Walker, who wrote a book called Reflections on Blaxploitation, Actors and Directors Speak. He wrote a whole book that I'd love to get my hands on, but a very interesting commentary on the black experience in film, especially horror films. Guy was really interesting to listen to in the commentary on Blacula. A new interview with Richard Lawson from Scream, Blacula Scream. He played, the Renfield type part. And theatrical trailers. These, of course, starred Richard Marshall, or William Marshall, I'm sorry. But I'm trying to see. Yeah, it was Prince Mamuwalde. That was his name. That's what I was looking for. But, Prince Mamuwalde from Africa, played by the late great William Marshall, as Blacula. He goes to see Count Dracula and to try to stop slavery. Turns out Dracula is as much of a racist as anybody else back in the 1600s or 1500s. No, actually, it was set in 1780. I'm sorry, I thought it was much earlier. 1780. Boy, I have to read these before. Well, at least I'm not scripting these out. It's just shooting from the hip. But it's 1780, and Prince Mamuwalde from Africa goes to see Count Dracula to try to stop slavery, and Dracula kind of glad handles him before he locks him and his beautiful bride up. And fast forward about 200 years later, and Blacula is he dubs him, "You are now Blacula." Dracula does to the prince, and locks him in this room with his wife. His wife, of course, dies because she's not a vampire. And Blacula comes out of his coffin after being shipped to America to these two homosexual antiques dealers, which there's a lot of politically incorrect humor there. Really, the two guys that play the antiques dealers really play it over the top. But, it's the early 70s. Political correctness didn't exist, and I don't think anybody should be offended. Of course, I don't know. I can't say I'm not black, I'm not homosexual, so I don't know what people go through. But it just seems to me that was done in good fun. I don't know. If people are offended, I'm sure the filmmakers apologize. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Regardless, these were funny movies. Not meant to be funny, but they're funny. And enjoyable to watch. The beautiful Pam Grier is in the second one. William Marshall is a really great, classically trained actor who brings all his chops to the part of Blacula. He doesn't treat it as a joke. He really, plays the hell out of this movie. Does a great job. and just a couple of fun vampire movies. So that about does it for April's Blu-ray pickups. There they are. And just to recap, The Wrestler, Gran Torino Steelbook, The Magnificent Seven 4-movie collection, the Argo Extended Edition box set collection with some cool toys, a book, and some posters, some other tchotchkes. Then six Scream Factories, Q the Winged Serpent, Larry Cohen, The Incredible Melting Man, Rick Baker Special Effects, Toby Hooper's Invaders from Mars, Vincent Price in From a Whisper to a Scream, or The Offspring, or Welcome to Oldfield, Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2, and Blacula and Scream, Blacula Scream. So I hope you enjoyed that look at April's Blu-ray pickups. Soon I will do May's DVD and Blu-ray pickups, and it is now the middle of June, the end of June actually, so pretty soon I'll have to do June's update as well. June will be over in just a few days. Today's the 26th of June, so I have May to do and then June to do, and we'll be all caught up, and I can start doing some other interesting videos. So hope you enjoyed it. Coming up on the 27-minute mark, so that's enough. Okay, thanks everybody. Take care, and I will see you next time.